Hey guys, this is Peter, and today I have something pretty cool for you. I have a new favorite 4G LTE router, and well, I'm going to tell you why. So here it is. It's from GL-iNet, and well, this one's called the Spitz, and it's a second generation or second release of it because now it has a North American radio, which is pretty exciting. It has all the channels we've been looking for. Again, for T-Mobile, I was always looking for 2, 4, 5, 12, 66, and 71. Guess what? This has a North American radio that works really well for T-Mobile and Verizon, and it's AT&T certified. Now, look at the bands, and I'm going to put them up on the screen. You want to make sure I have another video that shows you how you can see the towers in your area, what bands are available, because that's the radio you want to buy. I do like this one because it has all the different ones and has wonderful firmware. That really matters. I'm going to show you the firmware in just a second, but it is based on WRT or Open WRT, very powerful firmware, and that gives this radio some really great features. I do want to mention that if you look at this industrial design as pictured here, it kind of looks like it may be flimsy. There's nothing flimsy about this. As soon as you touch either, that's from GL-iNet, right? So is the barrel that I showed you before. I also love the barrel. The barrel's incredible. It's a different price point. It's also a multi-headed gateway. So I did say that it was a 4G LTE router because I could tether to it with my phone. I could also get it to repeat public Wi-Fi and all of those things. This is the same thing, except for it has a built-in radio. So different price point. This one was $80. I love this product. This one is brand new. It's incredibly fast. This one's a re-release, but it has a brand new North American radio in it. Cool stuff. It does have this multi-headed functionality to it, which means it's kind of a Swiss Army knife to get into the internet. I can get it over 4G LTE. I can get it with a tethered phone, which means I can get my 5G phone into the act. I can repeat public Wi-Fi, or I can plug in a cable. It's up to me. It really is kind of cool. I'm going to show you the firmware that makes all this happen and show you the speeds that I'm getting out of this thing. I do like the fact that these antennas, these are the 4G LTE antennas, and they are removable because now I can plug in. Remember, I've tested out some really great outdoor amplified directional antennas like the one I did from ProxyCast. That one works great. It has a 10 decibel gain. Very, very good radio. I'll put links to that as well. And I've tested that with here as well. I do want to point out that it's 7 o'clock on a Friday, and I live in a town with 1 million people. So everyone went home and is hitting Netflix. So it is going to affect some of the scores that I get, but let's get right to it. Here's the firmware. All you got to do to get to the firmware of this device is type in 192.168.8.1 by default. I love the fact that it's .8.1 because it doesn't conflict with everything else that's on my network. I do want to show you that you don't have to go through. You can go through the browser, but you don't have to because it also has a phone app. And this is pretty cool. You can download a phone app and actually control this device from the phone. So you actually don't even need a PC. Great features on this. I'm going to show you some of those features right now. Here, I'm going to log in with my password. Thank you for remembering it because I didn't have to type it in. All right. It's all sorts of different ways. It's using the modem right now. Here, I'm going to click in the auto setup. Now, if I had left it before, because I jumped off of it, but if I had left it before, it would have auto done that. If I left tethering, it would auto tether. It would auto repeat. I'm going to show you all of those because you can jump to them so quickly. Here, cell info. I'm going to show you what I'm picking up. A lot of people wanted to say, can I get band 66? And yeah, and I locked to band 66. And yes, that was the one thing that I would say on this is locking frequencies wasn't that easy. However, I was able to do it through an AT command, and there is a form and there is some documentation out there. And they are very responsive over email to answering your questions. And they pointed me out to all the documents. And yes, I got the band I wanted. So that's pretty cool. All right, so right now I'm connected to the internet over the internal modem using the antennas that came with it inside my garage, which only gives me 2 bars. But let's test it out anyway because that's the reality of this test. All right, so we're going to hit go. Again, it's testing T-Mobile. Getting a 25 ping inside my garage on a Friday with 1 million people. I'm getting 30. 30's not bad. Okay. We'll take the 31, 32. All right, now when I hook up my external antennas, it's even better. But again, it is a crowded demographic. So that also hits it too. Now, another way I can use my phone. And I think this is really exciting to tether with my phone. sometimes your phone, this is the most expensive radio that I own. It's a new $900 radio, and it does get 5G. And I'm going to plug into that and show you what I can get with that inside my garage. Okay, so to tether, all you need to do is go to your settings. I'm going to put this up on the screen. Your settings, your connections, your mobile hotspot and tethering, and it's grayed out for USB tethering. But when I plug it in, make sure you use the right cable. You can't use just any charging cable. You need one with all the wires so that it can, well, transfer data as well. I'm turning on USB tethering, and the firmware should see that option and switch. Or do I need to connect to it? Aha, there it is. It did it. So it saw tethering, and I'm going to connect to that. I should disconnect from this one. Let me disconnect from that. Connect to this. Great features on this. This is a really neat radio. Again, it is a Swiss Army knife. If you go to I don't know, say you go to a competing company and you're, well, a neighboring company, not a competing company. You wouldn't be inside of a competing company, but you go to a partner company and they give you an access to the internet. You're obviously going to want to run a VPN on top of that so that everything that goes through this gateway gets encrypted before it enters their gateway, and everything coming back from your corporation is decrypted here after it left them, and that way you have a good connection. Whether you're on in a hotel and they give you a public Wi-Fi access, or you're on the road and you're using an Xfinity hotspot, or parked outside of McDonald's or a Starbucks or something like that. Say you're trading Bitcoin, say you're buying stock, you definitely want your VPN on. You're doing business work, VPN on. I'm going to show you how easy it is to turn that on. Hey, I had to call my VPN provider to find out how to make this work because it was kind of crazy, and I'll get into that and show you exactly what I learned and how I did it. Hey, and why I had IPVanish on the phone. I said, give me your latest coupon code because I want to offer it to people so that they can get a good discount, and they gave me one. So fantastic. Let's see, what am I going to test now? We're tethering to my phone. Let's go ahead and test that out. So this is important to note. I do have Wi-Fi turned on my phone, so it's connecting to Xfinity, you'll see. Let's turn that off. Boom. I'm going to swipe down, turn off my Wi-Fi. I'm going to close this down because you've already seen my Wi-Fi speeds, and it's exactly the same. It's 85 down, 6 up. I'll show you repeating that. It's easy. All right, so I'm going to go and hit this. This should now be T-Mobile. So I'm tethering and running using my phone's 5G network. 5G is on. And yeah, this is inside my garage. So I'm getting 20, 24, 25. All right, we'll call it 24 or 28. But as you can see, this is inside my garage using my phone. I do like this option, however, because you might have a really good data plan on your phone saying, hey, I want to use my phone's data plan. It is going to use hotspot data, but sometimes you can get a good deal on some hotspot data, especially if it's on the device itself. I do get a message from on my phone that says, you're only supposed to use this for one PC. Why do they care? I'm paying for it. It doesn't matter. There you go. There's the score on my phone. Make sure your Wi-Fi is off unless you want to tether with this radio instead of this one. I'm going to show you how I can Wi-Fi tether. Wi-Fi repeat. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to turn off tethering so I can unplug my phone. I'm going to go and repeat a Wi-Fi network so I can just scan for Wi-Fi networks. So let's hit the scan button. And now we're scanning for all the Wi-Fi connections around me. I'm going to have my Wi-Fi network. Here we go. Here's all the different ones around me. Kids Wi-Fi and Mr. Bill and Streamers 24. This one's mine. I have both a 2.4 version as well as a 5 gigahertz version. Someone asked the question, hey, if you repeat a 5 gigahertz, do you still have a 5 gigahertz? And I thought, well, of course not. But the answer is actually yes. So let me just make sure this is right. All right. So you have to hit join. And yes, when you're repeating a Wi-Fi, whether you're repeating the 2.4 or the 5 gigahertz, you still have both networks available, which is actually great. And it did test out quite good. So there we are. I'm repeating a Wi-Fi. You can repeat public Wi-Fi. I think one of the options there was Xfinity Wi-Fi. I can repeat that. So if I'm camping and on the road, those are all over the place. If I'm near any homes, I have an Xfinity Wi-Fi and I can piggyback on that. Of course, I have my login from my home and I'm able to get onto their network and stream on that for free. It doesn't hit my data plan. So someone said, well, then wait a second. You could actually hit your terabyte limit and then go and repeat and jump on piggyback somebody else's if that was the case. That is, I went and looked it up. You can do that. It won't hit your data plan. That would actually be a good response to hitting your terabyte limit, is to repeat another one. But anyway, here's my Streamers 24 network. This is my Wi-Fi. You're going to see my Wi-Fi speeds. And you'll see that it says here on the speed test that this testing Xfinity, because that's what I'm repeating. So here we go. I'm expecting an 85 and a 6 with a 20, well, actually a decent ping. And are we going to get 80? Yeah, everyone's watching Netflix right now. 7:24 on a Friday night. 1 million people in my neighborhood. So that's actually quite good for given the constraints. If you want to test this Wi-Fi, and I only got 6 up. If you want to test this Wi-Fi, the best time to do it is like 3 o'clock in the morning. It just goes nuts. I'm not even getting my 6 up. What kind of crazy place is this? But yeah, 5.7, 5.8. There it is. I did do some war driving, meaning driving around, finding different cell towers and seeing how fast I can get 5G to be. I'll go ahead and post that one. It is pretty cool. But you can see I'm able to do, this is a Swiss Army knife of internet access. It gives me so many different options to get to the internet. VPN, I got that to work. I uploaded definitions and there was a trick to it. I'm going to show you what that trick was. You can go to IPVanish, type in OpenVPN, and download all their different configs. It comes down like this as configs. And if you look in all the different configs, there is a certificate in there. But then, so all the different definitions from Australia to Brussels, Montreal, Prague, Germany. I'm seeing Spain, France, Israel. What was that? Japan, Netherlands, all over. And it's got the whole world in there. Obviously, that's too many definitions to upload to such a small thing. Delete the ones that you're never going to use, but leave that certificate in there and then rezip it. Upload that to the router, and then it's going to ask you, instead of asking you for a passphrase, which I didn't have, it's going to ask you for your password and login, and that I did have, and now I can connect. So now I have a VPN running. So now I can actually get online. If you were, say you were staying at the MGM in Las Vegas, right? And they give you their hotel Wi-Fi. You're not going to trade Bitcoin or buy stocks. That would be crazy. But if you turn on your VPN, you're now encrypting all the traffic. So everything that goes into this box gets encrypted before it hits that Wi-Fi. Starbucks and McDonald's also have public Wi-Fis, and you could use those too. You'd want to turn on a VPN before doing any such things because you have to assume that somebody's trying to read it. Starbucks is a classic example. But hey, if you had an RV and you park near Starbucks, it's a great resource as long as you can encrypt it. So here I am. I'm fully encrypted. And yes, I'm going to notice a speed hit because everything that goes into this router or out of this router is being encrypted and decrypted using, well, IPVanish. Great usage for that. Hey, when you have an IPVanish license, it's beautiful to run it on your phone as well because it is really tempting on the road to be able to buy stocks and all that stuff. Make sure you have your VPN on because you have to assume, especially when you're at a fixed location that's public, that someone else is snooping you. Let's do a quick test on that. I'm going to restart this real quick because I'm looking for the source no longer to be T-Mobile or to be Xfinity, but IPVanish. Look at that. So it's actually running, and there you can see I have my VPN on, and I'm still getting a very good ping and some decent speeds. You know, this is, if for trading stocks, that kind of thing, this is perfect. For getting your corporate email, this is perfect. For any time you're accessing something on the road, this is a good thing to be running. Definitely when you're trading stocks or buying Bitcoin, which I do for my phone all the time. So you just don't want to have that. You want to have that extra level of security that everything going in and out of this box, regardless of how it's getting to the internet after that, is being encrypted. Some good up speed, that pretty much synchronous. Now I can turn this off, and it's that easy. On, off. There's all sorts of applications. They do call this an IoT gateway, because you can run just a plethora of different applications, including someone asked me about file serving or running a network attached storage drive. I do have, did I even show you that? This plastic is just beautiful, by the way. The industrial design looks, I got to say, it feels incredibly good. These little feet, they aren't just little plastic bumps. There's actually little rubber feet. So this is a very good build. And as soon as you have it in your hand, you're like, all right, now I'm getting what I'm paying for. So I'm going to open up this little door. I can see that I have my SIM card and my micro SD card. You can put up to 128 gigs in there, and now you can use it as, well, network attached storage. And that's exactly what I've done. And here, when I go to here, and oh, there's the little certificate you want to have in there. So I don't know if I went through that really well, but here, you go to download the definitions, unzip it. There they all are. There's the whole world in there. Delete the ones you don't want. I did that for myself. I created a smaller one, called it New Folder. I just have San Jose definitions in there, but I have all of them. Leave the certificate in there. Zip it back up. Download WinZip and zip it back up, and then upload that to your VPN client, and then all will be good. Now, it's not going to ask me for the passphrase, but it'll ask me for the password, all that, and it all works beautifully. But I was getting to the point that I did download a piece of software, and it allows me to share my my two drives. I could have a USB drive plugged into the USB port, which I did, and I also have that micro SD card. Here I can find both of them. Here they both are. This happens to be John Oliver that I'm sharing over my SIM card, and that works great. Or not my SIM card, but my SD card. And I also had my USB drive plugged in there. Sorry, my voice is going. And it was showing me all the things that were on there. I do have that unplugged because that was the same port I was tethering over. So someone's going to say, hey, but if you're tethering, you can't have a flash drive plugged in. Yeah, that's true. There is that one USB port. This is my favorite piece now, because it is a new release of this radio, because it does have all the channels that we were looking for T-Mobile, for Verizon, and it's AT&T certified and has a lot of those channels as well. This is a cool little Swiss Army knife. If you already have a radio and you're happy with it, maybe you have, I don't know, the Mophie or maybe the Kufi, and those are great. Then I also like this barrel. This barrel was an excellent choice. It also is an amazing little Swiss Army knife with all sorts of different ways to get to the internet. It would be a great companion for any of those radios I mentioned, giving you the access to use VPN. Does the same exact thing, same company, same build quality. This is a newer product, by the way. It does have a faster router on it. It's up to 400 megabit, which made it really cool when I plug into my USB port that's type 3 on the back here. At what is it, $80? This was a killer deal. Really like that one. But if you don't have a radio and you were thinking of getting one for $149 or $139, look at this one. It's $149 and it has everything, including a lot of that functionality already built in. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I have a lot of great questions on this, and I've just been thrilled with both of these products. I think they work incredibly well. And now I've got it working with my favorite VPN, and I do have a coupon code for you down below, and that is a wonderful product as well. So, hey, it's always fun to work with good products, and these have been fantastic. Oh, does allow me to unscrew these antennas. I have plugged them into my professional antennas, like my amplified proxy cast directional antenna. And yes, I get real speeds using that. Did I show you I get band 66 on that? That was my only gripe on this, is that the firmware to allow me, can I do that here? To allow me cell info. Yeah, so can I see my cells? I am getting 66, but in order to band lock to it, I did have to use an AT command. It was a little bit for a lot of you, it'll be a little bit sketchy because you do have to cut and paste a command that is quite terse and doesn't look like human readable stuff at all. But it did allow me to go out and scan for my best band and lock to it. So been very happy with that. There is a good forum and there's really good support online. They've been very responsive when I send them an email. They are in a different part of the world, so I usually have to wait till the next morning, but that's been working great. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I've really enjoyed this product and highly recommend it. And if you already have a radio you love, I highly recommend the Barrel. This has been a real kick. These people said, hey, can you remove those 4G and LTE antennas? These are Wi-Fi antennas. The 4G LTE is not built into that one. That's why it's a different price point. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one. Talk to you soon.